Everybody wants to hit in the 3-hole, the 4-hole, be the guy. But nobody wants to hit ninth until the 9-hole hitter becomes the one who wins the game. Today I'm breaking down the most disrespected role in baseball and why it made me a savage. For those of you who are new to the show, my name is Ian Miller and I was a 9-hole hitter for forever. Little League, bottom of the order. High school, overlooked. D1, walk on. Benched, nobody. Pro ball, had to earn every at bat. One summer I sat the bench in a college league after already playing D1 baseball. I had just walked on my freshman year at Wagner College, and here I was fighting for some playing time. Dude, I was ready to absolutely break stuff. I had no idea what was going on. I felt disrespected. I was struggling to just get in the game, but I didn't. I locked in, dude. I studied. I owned the role. I turned that anger into fuel. I used it to my advantage. And that's what we need to do in the 9-hole. I started treating the 9-hole like it was my job interview. Every single day I needed to earn it day in and day out. It wasn't a demotion, dude. It was a platform. If we're able to use it to our advantage, who can stop us? Being in the 9-hole is an absolute test. We get to sit there and watch everybody else get their asses kicked, strike out, roll over, we contact, take a right turn back to the dugout, and we're just chomping at the bit. And then we finally get our chance, and we get up there, and we're tight. We're a little bit nervous. We just watched the first 8 guys get absolutely abused, and we don't necessarily have a plan. We're not in a better spot just because we're hitting in the 9-hole. Now we're up there unprepared, going through the motions again, and then guess what, dude? Smell ya, strike 3. That's how it goes. The 9-hole is an absolute test. It's not for everybody. Yeah, you're disrespected. Yes, you're overlooked a little bit. But if nobody expects you to do anything in the 9-hole, it can be an absolute superpower if you use it to your advantage. Being in the 9-hole is a test. It's a test of your vision. It's a test of your focus, your fucking grit. That's what it is. You can easily sit on the bench and twiddle your thumbs while the rest of the lineup gets carved. You're in the 9-hole. You're not supposed to be doing anything anyway, right? That's not what needs to be happening. We need to use the 9-hole to our advantage, and we need to understand what we need to do to capitalize on it. Awareness. You got to see the whole field. You have to see the whole field, nothing but the field, so help you God. See what the pitchers are doing. We need to use being the last spot in the order to our advantage. We can't be sitting on the bench, twiddling our thumbs, dicking around with our teammates. We need to be able to have a tactical advantage somehow. We always talk about the pitcher's 8 warm-up pitches, right? We can see what a pitcher has today, what he's going to use as his secondary pitch if he's commanding the zone well. Well, in the 9-hole, if we have some sort of awareness, if we are here right now, if we aren't somewhere else in La La Land, we can have a better tactical advantage than everybody else. I had a tactical advantage in the 9-hole because I got to have I had 8 previous at-bats before I even got in the box. I saw 8 other people go up there and get their ass kicked before I went up there. I used that's my armor. That's my superpower, dude. That's a tactical advantage, and we aren't being aware in the 9-hole. You got to see the whole field. You got to see what the pitchers are doing. Think 2 steps ahead. If you're in the 9-hole, no one's going to expect that out of you anyway. Mental toughness. Every at-bat is an absolute battle. Okay? You're the spark plug. You are the guy that is going to turn the lineup over. You have to bring the energy. You got to bring the noise. You have to be that spark plug. Okay? In baseball, you're either giving energy or you're taking it away. You either giveth or you taketh away. Make sure you're giving it. Make sure you are a spark plug. You are a fire starter, a little freaking gnat in the bottom of the order. Not the extra guy, right? The trigger. The dude that just is the plug at the bottom of the order, right? We can't be that. We need to use this to our advantage. One mic. Boom. 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 Let me see if the camera game's on right here. We're upgrading, dude. Awareness. Mental toughness. Every at-bat is a battle. You're the spark plug, okay? We need that. Selflessness and leadership. Nobody expects that in the 9-hole, right? How are you supposed to be a 9-hole leader? Okay? You're the pipsqueak, the runt at the bottom of the order, the dude that's overlooked by everybody else, right? That's the perfect time to lead from the front. That's the perfect time to pick your guys up, to challenge your guys, to make them be better, set the tone, set the example. Can you imagine what would happen if there was a no-hitter, perfect game, right? Going into the third inning, whatever it was. You're the 9-hole hitter and you're coming up for your first AB. Everybody got sat down in order. Strike three, strikes three, strike three. Dude, this pitcher is pumping. And you go up to the plate. Everybody's expecting another strikeout. Let's just get it back to the top of the order, dude. And you get on. You work a walk. You grind out a quality at bat, dude. And you get on base. Pass ball. Something happens, right? Maybe you steal a base, dude. Maybe you go first to third, dude. Now we got like runners in scoring position, dude. Now we got momentum. That's what we need to be able to do in the 9-hole. You need to be able to move runners, dude. You need to be able to make pitchers work. Not only is this selflessness, we're giving our at-bat to the greater good of the team, right? It stinks because we want to hit 300. Dude, this is the stuff that gets us paid. This is the stuff that actually lets us hit 300 because now we're going to start getting consistent ABs. We're going to get more playing time. We're going to get more respect, dude. This is how it happens. You can't do that when you're just the extra guy in the 9-hole, dude. There needs to be selflessness, of course, dude. There needs to be leadership. And by you showing up and having an at-bat that is positive for the team and for the greater good of everybody else, you put the fire on the top of the order. That leadoff dude now has to match the tone that you set. Imagine you're the table setter in the 9-hole. It's crazy. It's crazy. You become the guy like every coach wants in big moments. Isn't that what you want? Because you know how to handle them. That's what we're looking for. In the 9-hole, we can use this stuff as a superpower to our benefit, to our advantage. We just need to have awareness. We just need to have mental toughness, dude. We have to be able to battle. That's what every at-bat's going to be. And we have to have selflessness, dude. We have to lead from the front as well. I need a drink of water. Okay. You need to win from the bottom of the order. Here's how. Okay? We need to have the right mindset. We need to have the right approach. And dude, to be completely honest with you, we need to understand what coaches look for. Because don't we all just want to get to the next level? Isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why we're talking about dominating in the 9-hole? Don't we want to be a dude and become something? Well, this is how we do it. Okay? We need to have the right mindset on why we're in the 9-hole and what we're trying to do. All right? The 9-hole isn't being overlooked, dude. You're not overlooked. Okay? We need to start treating it like we're undercover. Nobody just knows about us yet. That's how we need to go about our business in the 9-hole. It's not necessarily disrespectful. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Oh, dude, I made varsity, but I'm in the 9-hole. Yeah, it is what it is. I might get 2 ABs. I might get 3. You know what I mean? That's great. Guess what a 1 for 2 or a 1 for 3 does for you? Gets you opportunity, my guy. You're not overlooked in the 9-hole. You're undercover. Nobody knows about you yet. Use it. Use it to your advantage. Study the pitcher. Study the pitcher, dude. Have an idea. Have a clue. He's going to tell you what he can throw in warm-ups. I promise you he's going to tell you what he can throw in warm-ups. It is a freaking cheat code if you just watch the pitcher, dude. You can also do that for 8 previous at-bats. I already said that in the first section. It is so important, dude. We need to watch the game. Being a student of the game is what being a successful 9-hitter is all about. I was terrible in school. I got terrible grades. I was a student of the game, though, and I made it to the big leagues. That's what? We can use it to our advantage if we just pay attention, dude. Watch the game. Understand the tendencies of it. I didn't have the best baseball IQ. It actually held me back a little bit. Okay? But if we watch the game, we can use it to our advantage. Even if we aren't the sharpest tool in the shed, if we watch the game, we can win. I'm telling you. Use it. Study the pitcher. Track patterns. See what he's throwing, man. That leadoff dude that is a lefty, okay, just like you in the 9-hole, what did he get thrown 2-0? Well, he got diced up. He didn't get on base. Okay. What? You're 2-0. Guess what the pitcher's going to throw you? Same thing as that dude. He's not reinventing the wheel, bro. And he's not Nolan Ryan. If he was, he wouldn't be here. He's going to throw you the same thing he threw him. in the same exact situation. That's why you should keep a notebook. That's why being in the 9-hole is a tactical advantage, especially if you have the right mindset around it. All right? You're not the end of the lineup. You're not the caboose. You're the beginning of the damage. You can light the fire under the ass of the leadoff hitter by setting the tone in the 9-hole. Dude, it's hilarious when you do that. I used to love doing that. I used to get pissed off being in the 9-hole, and then I would set the table and I would set the tone, and I would be like, dude, you're leading off? Nice. Perfect. You're going to have to match my energy tonight because I'm 3 for 4 with 3 bags in the 9-hole, and you're leading off and you're over. Joke's on you, nerd. We need to have that mindset. I don't care. That's just the mindset we need to have. It has to be like that. If you want to win from the bottom of the order, right? You want to win from the bottom, you have to have the right approach. We have to have an idea of what's going on, guys. We have to have a clue. Please get a clue. Hunt one pitch. Hunt one pitch. That's how it has to be. If we're trying to cover the whole plate, if we're trying to cover out, in, soft, firm, curve, change, riser, you got no chance. I promise you, you have no chance. It is so hard to hit 300. You could know what's coming. I'm telling you, you could know what's coming. You still have to barrel that baby up. You still have to be on time for it. You still have to pick it up. You still have to execute. You can't do that if you're hunting more than one pitch. It's hard enough when you know what's coming. It is imperative for us to understand what coaches look for, okay? If coaches, recruiters, evaluators, front offices, anybody is showing up to watch what we can do in the 9-hole, dude, it is paramount to understand the type of stuff that we need to execute on, all right? We can change the trajectory of our careers, the trajectory of our lives, just by having a good day in the 9-hole. I did it. I did it multiple times. Did it in Alaska, did it at Wagner, did it in high school, all right? Did it in the big leagues, did it in the minor leagues. It's crazy how that works, okay? What are they looking for? Well, it's not your Instagram highlights, okay? They care if you can move runners over. Dude, that is such an important trait, being able to handle the bat, all right? Guy on first base, move him over, hit and run, hit it through the hole. Dude, if there's a man on first base, you're a left-handed hitter, you have a tendency to roll over. Could be an easy knock, okay? Moving runners over is absolutely going to be huge. It is going to add insane amounts of value to who we are. Handling pressure is going to be key, okay? We want to come through in the clutch. We want to come through when people aren't expecting it. Big situations. You're up there facing Paul Skeens. You're coming through as a 9-hole hitter. Clutch. That's what we're looking for, bro, okay? Being reliable every single inning out of the 9-hole is going to be key, okay? Us as 9-hole hitters, guys, we do not have to be Miguel Cabrera. We do not have to be Mike Trout, okay? We do not have to be Bryce Harper every single day. We don't have to be those guys. We just have to be ourselves. You do not have to be a perennial Hall of Famer, A-plus player on the show every day in the 9-hole in order to be a Major League Baseball player, in order to be the dude, okay? You just need to consistently be a little bit above average every single day. You consistently put forward reps like that every single day, a little bit above average every day, everything you have. Eventually, you just surpass everybody. That's how it works. There's an insane opportunity in the 9-hole. Insane opportunity. Pitchers relax on you. They don't respect you. They don't think you're going to be able to handle the bat, come through in a 2-0 count, 3-1, drive it in the gap. They don't think you're going to be able to battle 0-2, right? Down in the count, you're already over. They relax. That's your window. That's where you're able to strike. You've got less pressure and more freedom to ball out. There are no strings attached to you in the 9-hole. And when you deliver from the 9-hole, you steal hearts, dude. Take them. That's what it's all about. You flip freaking games. The 9-hole is an absolute advantage. We need to live like it. Everybody sees what Luis Arraez is doing, okay? I've played with dudes who could handle the bat before, who could do it in the 9-hole and ended up in the big leagues. I haven't played with many ever, have seen ever dudes that can do it like Luis Ariz. The guy is absolutely insane. You know that. That guy can hit 300 out of any spot. But is he Bryce Harper? Is he Mike Trout? Is he Miguel Cabrera? Is he putting the ball out of every single stadium, every single game? No. But he can hit 300 in any spot. He can battle. He can come through when it counts. Didn't matter where that dude hit. He competed. That's what it needs to be about in the 9-hole, fellas. The 9-hole made him sharpen his craft. He had to double down on his strengths. There's no time to mess around in the 9-hole. When you're in the 9-hole, if you sharpen your craft, you learn to see more. You learn to process faster. You start using it to your advantage, and that's where the fun begins. Being in the 9-hole doesn't mean you are forgotten, okay? It means you've been given a test, and you've got a chance to build something absolutely unbreakable. I built the 9-hole for guys like you. If you're tired of being overlooked, hit subscribe. Join the 9-hole newsletter. Join the clubhouse. And let's build underdogs into friends. Keep grinding.